In this tutorial, we want to draw this space shuttle here in Inkscape. I'm using Inkscape 1.0. So we'll start by going for our rectangle and square tool, and then we draw something like this, more or less a reasonable size. Like this is okay. Now we go to path, object to path, and then we select this, and then we want to give it a path effect. So go to path and then go to path effects, and this dialog box opens. Now go to the plus, and then we want to choose corners, fillets, chamfer. Now go for your edit path by nodes tool, and then we want to select these two nodes up here. Now we choose change only selected nodes, and then we proceed by increasing the radius until these two nodes coincide. So let's do it until they coincide. Okay, now we are good. So what I will do is that I will now go to path, object to path, so we leave the path effects. Now I think from my diagram, I feel that whatever I've drawn here, I feel I have to adjust this. I feel it's too wide compared to the height, so I'll just go to shift and then reduce it a bit. I think this is okay. Okay, now I would let's go for our rectangle tool again, and then we draw a rectangle here. Draw it such that not something like this is okay, or maybe if it's very long, maybe I reduce mine a bit as I go to shift and reduce it a bit. Now let me give this a different color so it's easier for us to look. I want to make it in such a way that the distances here and here are the same. So I'll just let's go to objects, align distribution, and then we would do this with respect to adjust this one with respect to I have last selected, so I leave it as it is. You can and then I would go to shift and select this, and then I think I have to do it vertically. I say center on vertical axis. Okay, so that you have this, and then now go for your selection tool and let's bring a guide. Now we want the guide to lie in the center of this image here, so that what I'm going to draw, I want it to be a bit symmetric. So like this is okay. Now we can now go for our Bezier tool, and then straight lines. Okay, and then we come here, and then we draw this. We come to the edge here, we come here, we draw, we click here before we go here, and then we double click. We want to get a triangle. Now let me select what we've drawn, and let me just give it a color for us to be visible. Now select the triangle is already selected, so go to shift and select this one, the thing that we drew first, that is in my case the brown one, and then go to path, and then we do union. Now what I don't need this anymore, so I can discard it. You can and I don't need so I just hit my delete key. Okay, now we go for our rectangle tool again, and then we draw something like this. We want to get a rectangle. Go to object, fill and stroke, and then reduce with this selected, let me see here, reduce the opacity a bit. I want so that we can see through what we are going to do, because I want to place this somewhere here more or less. then so that I will cut and do some operations with it. Let's see here. Yeah, I think this is good. First I'm going to we would, okay, now we select this, go to shift and select this one, and then we do a duplicate. Okay, so we go to edit and then we do a duplicate, and then the duplicates we are going to do different so that we get this piece here. So we go to path and then we do difference. Now let's give it a different color so we can see what we've done. Now we want to select this and this, and then we want to do an intersection. Now select this rectangle here and then go to shift and out and select the other one, the thing which is behind it, the first thing we drew, which is the whole thing here. And then with both selected, go to path and we do intersection. So now we have this and this. Now we can now start giving colors that we wanted to give these. I gave this actually okay, let's give this yellow and give this red for the time being, but we'll be adjusting. I think I'm now, don't worry, I don't remember which colors I use, but anyway, this yellow one, let's give it a gradient. Okay, we give it a linear gradient. Now we will go for this to create and to edit the gradient. Let's go for this, and then we come here and then give it this color here, this yellow here, and then we come to the middle and then we give it a darker shade, and the end will be even darker. And then we come to the red. Now we pick this, and then we would also give it a linear gradient, and then I think I used these colors. So now let's see here, we give this, let's give this, we've already given it the linear gradient, so we come here and then we give this color, this one, a lighter shade a bit, maybe let's try this. Okay, and then now the middle we give it a bit darker like this. Oh, I think I used these shades. Let's see here. Yeah, this. Okay, and then this we give it a darker shade like this. I think that's we go a bit up a bit. I think it's okay. The contrast is there. All we need is to have some contrast. That this is here is a bit darker. I can increase this part a bit. Let's see if I give it this, and then I reduce this a bit to make it a bit light. I think this is good. Okay, now we are done with this one here. I will bring the guide. We don't need the guide anymore, so we just bring it somewhere here. The next thing we want to do is to I still am not satisfied with my gradient. Sorry, I want to give this maybe a bit lighter, because then it's we need that contrast there. So this I think is better, or maybe let me try this. Yes, I think this is better. Okay, now we are going to do our eye. The eye, I just drew a circle, so go for our circle tool, and then we go to shift control, or to just get a perfect circle, because we want a perfect circle. Let's move the circle there, here, more or less somewhere here, and then we would give the circle a white color. We can now increase the opacity because we don't need to see anything. Now we do a duplicate of this circle. Right click and do a duplicate, and then we give it the duplicate this color here. I think this was the color I used, yes. And then we go to Shift Control and make it a bit smaller like this. Now the next thing we want to do is to draw these lines here. So we go for our Bezier tool and we make sure we are in create sequence of straight lines, and then we draw a straight line somewhere here. Try to make it straight so it's not slanted, and then double click. Okay, so it's straight. Okay, now we would go to, we need to select it, and we have to go to path effects. So toggle through. In case you are here, just go to path effects, and then we go here. Now we want to use rotate copies, so press this and then it will rotate. I have six here. Maybe first I increase it a bit. Let me increase it a bit, and then I go for my edit pass by notes tool, and then I pick it up. There's a hole there, so you use the hole to pick it, and you must have made sure your line was straight, or else it will be when you pick it up it won't be straight, because we want a straight line. Now we increase the number of copies as much as we think it's okay for it to look okay. Let's do about 30 or so. I think 30 is good. Now I would now go to path, object to path, to go out of the whole thing. Okay, now the next thing I would do is that I would go for my create edit my text tool, and then I write end space. That's I'm using sans serif. You can use anything at all. This is just for us to just learn. I do space, so I just pick it, and I think I gave it the same color as this, so give it this color here and move it somewhere here. Something like this is good, looks good like this, yes. And then now we want to create our flame. Now we go for our circle and ellipse tool, and then we draw. Maybe we create it here first. Just we draw something like this. Let's give the initial one red, and then we do a duplicate. You can do a duplicate by right clicking on your mouse, and then we do duplicate. And the duplicates, let's give it this color here, and then we go to Shift Control, and then we come here and move this up a bit here like this. Now we will do right click this and do a duplicate again, and then the duplicate, let's give it yellow, and then we go to Shift Control and do something like this and move this up. I mean, I feel that maybe I should increase this a bit, but I think it's also okay. Anyway, something like this is good. It's not necessary it's exact. Now we select this, go to Shift, select this, and then let's group it. So we go to Objects, Group, and then we would go to, I don't know, I'm not very sure whether we open the fill and stroke. So if you don't know how to open it, go to Object and go to Fill and Stroke, and this comes. And then we want to reduce this to blur it. The more you blur it, you get something like a flame. We bring it somewhere here. We can make it big if we will. If we want, let's make it a bit bigger. We go to Shift Control for us not to distort anything, but for it also not to be like too big. Now we want to reduce this back. We reduce this back to the back, and we move this somewhere here, or less. I would reduce mine a bit and maybe increase my blur a bit. I I think this is okay. Let's see here, maybe I increase the blur a bit more, but I think you get how this can be drawn. And also, in case you finish everything, you can select everything if you want, and then you group it, then you have one piece. Thank you for watching. Please come again, and please, if this was helpful to you in any way, help me by subscribing to my channel, and please give me a like. Please come again. Thank you. Bye.